Welcome to Indiana.
Hey everyone! It's a new week, and after exploring a little bit of Louisville, Kentucky, we're hitting the road and heading to rural eastern Indiana, where we plan to take it easy and take an unforgettable ride through history. Join us this week as we camp near Brookville Lake, explore some trails, try an interesting food combination, and hop aboard a historic train through Indiana's Whitewater River Valley. We stayed at Whitewater Memorial State Park, just outside of the small town of Liberty, Indiana. This park sits on part of Brookville Lake, a reservoir in the Whitewater River Valley. This state park has something for everyone. There's cabins, hiking trails, boat ramps, fishing docks, a beach, and a large campground. The campground itself is pretty big. There are multiple loops, including one for horse campers. Some sites are paved, some gravel, and most are back-in sites with electric hookups only, though there are a few pull-throughs. It was a quiet campground that we enjoyed walking and biking around, and there was a ton of nature to watch. We enjoyed hiking a couple of trails here. The Veterans Vista Loop is a 2-mile trail that winds through the forest, through the family cabin area, and past a view of the lake. This was a fun, moderate trail, but there were a few muddy spots along the way.
Up and over. Come on.
Good boy. We also walked part of the easy Red Springs Loop Trail, which has a storybook for young hikers to follow. One really cool perk is that your entry pass for Whitewater Memorial State Park also gets you into 2 other Brookville Lake State Parks, including the Mounds and Quakertown State Recreation areas. We did want to try the Scenic Trail at Mounds SRA, but unfortunately it appeared to be closed. Since we were just about an hour from Cincinnati, there was a Skyline Chili restaurant in Brookville that we had to go check out. This Cincinnati staple has been serving up their famous 3-way since 1949. Their secret recipe chili poured over spaghetti and piled high with shredded cheese. Keisha went with the classic 3-way, and I tried a cheese coney, a hot dog in a steamed bun with mustard, onions, and chili, topped with a mountain of cheese. The food was super tasty and worth the stop. It was a quiet week here in rural Indiana, but we had a big adventure planned. On Saturday, we drove to Connersville, Indiana, where we bought a couple tickets aboard the Whitewater Valley Railroad. This is a historical heritage railroad that is maintained and operated mostly by volunteers. They offer other themed excursions such as Wild West, Civil War, and the Polar Express. The Whitewater Valley Flyer runs most weekends between May 1st and October 31st, and it costs $27 per adult or $16 for children. The entire excursion is 5 hours long with a 2-hour-long stop in the small town of Metamora.
1, 2, 3, all aboard! All right, go turn right there with me, please.
Keisha's first train ride. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. We boarded the train at Connersville Station and took off towards Metamora.
piece, please. Yep.
We passed by houses and farms, a small airport, the Whitewater River, and the Whitewater Canal. The canal was dug in the mid-1800s in order to move goods and livestock from the valley to the Ohio River. It took 11 years to construct and was completed in 1847, stretching to 76 miles long. It contained 56 locks, averaging one every mile and a half, as well as 7 dams. After completion in 1847, part of the canal was washed out after the Whitewater River flooded, and it was never rebuilt. Railroads soon replaced the function of the canal as well. While the canal was short-lived as a transportation route, and little remains of it today, it is still celebrated among locals at Canal Days in Metamora. There is also a trail that follows the canal for 11 miles from Laurel to Brookville. Our train stopped in Metamora and we were given 2 hours to explore this neat little town. There is a historic downtown district, as well as a small business section with local eateries and shops where local retailers sell all kinds of goods. We decided to eat lunch at Third Place Metamora, where we ordered a small wood-fired pizza that turned out to be absolutely delicious. After lunch, we wandered around town for a bit, checking out a few different shops and walking along the canal. Eventually, we stopped for some ice cream at Granny's Cookie Jars and Ice Cream Parlor, which also just so happens to house the Guinness World Record largest collection of cookie jars. There are over 3,000 cookie jars on display here. What a cool little spot. Metamora is also home to the Whitewater Canal Historic Site and the Metamora Grist Mill. It costs $5 per adult to visit the mill, which contains a museum and offers demonstrations on how it uses water power from the canal to grind corn into flour, grits, and cornmeal, just as it did in the 1800s. Unfortunately, it appeared there was a wedding going on here, so we weren't able to check the mill out. We still enjoyed our time here in the small town of Metamora, and we enjoyed the train ride back to Connersville. This was such a cool way to experience part of rural Indiana. We had a great time here in eastern Indiana. We enjoyed hiking around Brookville Lake, and we loved the train ride to Metamora on the Whitewater Valley Railroad. Join us next week as we cross the border into Illinois and check out some cool Route 66 relics, as well as visit the capital city. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.